Beyond words, we believe in actions. 100% of Valrona's cocoa can be traced back to the producers. We are building long-term relationships with these 18,208 partner producers in 16 countries. As a certified B Corp, we are committed to improving every day. We accompany artisans of good taste in creating works of art with the most beautiful material and to be actors in the sustainable and committed gastronomy of tomorrow. Together, good becomes better.
Your hands. They produce the most beautiful and delicious creations. Day in and day out, we work hard to give you a helping hand. We provide tips, techniques, and quality products, which is why Debic is in good hands with you, and you are in good hands with Debic. Debic, made for professional hands.
Mesdames et messieurs, excellent retour dans le hall Paul Bocuse, ici, sur cet espace scénique de la Coupe du Monde de pâtisserie. Et je suis en attente de cette troisième épreuve, la dégustation des desserts de restaurants. Et je suis en compagnie de deux présidents pour le même tarif, le président Hermé et le président Paillasson, Pierre Hermé, qu'on a la chance de recevoir ici à la Coupe du Monde, le fondateur de cet événement.
Merci Gabriel d'être venu nous voir. Il y a quelques semaines, on m'a dit que tu ne viendrais pas et finalement, je suis content que tu sois venu nous voir si on a bien travaillé, si on essaye de continuer ce que tu as mis en place. Et merci de ta venue et de ta confiance.
Bonjour à tous et à toutes. Bonjour Pierre. Merci d'avoir accepté de prendre la relève. C'est très très bien pour la profession. Simplement, moi, je vais vous laisser un petit message. Toujours le même.
Je le connais.
Je ne vais pas changer. Donc, il faut toujours prendre soin des concurrents parce que sans concurrents, il n'y aura pas de concours. Il faut prendre soin de toutes les équipes au niveau national et international qui nous aident à monter ce concours. Et il faut laisser l'ouverture à tous les pays parce que cette Coupe du Monde a permis à tous les pays d'évoluer. Et ce sera tout. Et merci Pierre d'avoir accepté. On est en bonne main.
Merci Gabriel, merci beaucoup et merci pour toute cette histoire qui continue au milieu de pâtissiers de métier, c'est ça qui est important. Ici, il y a les hommes qui savent faire et qui ont composé ce comité, qui continue l'œuvre que vous avez initiée. Voilà.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup. Bien, mes amis, on est heureux effectivement d'avoir le fondateur de l'événement ici, sur la Coupe du Monde de pâtisserie. On est heureux de pouvoir en découdre à nouveau d'ici à une vingtaine de minutes, ici sur l'espace. La dégustation des desserts de restauration, eh bien, elle prendra place ici même avec un jury entièrement nouveau, entièrement dédié à cet événement, car la dégustation des pâtisseries et des desserts de restaurants, eh bien, c'est l'affaire des chefs et des chefs pâtissiers de restaurants. Je laisserai le soin à mes amis de vous les présenter d'ici quelques minutes. Andras et Angela, que vous retrouvez. À tout à l'heure, les amis, pour la cérémonie.
À tout à l'heure.
Oh, très bien.
So, and welcome back, Angela. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, and everyone in the audience that are viewing at home, in the safety of your own homes around the world, welcome back for the afternoon session. So we just saw Vincent, who was chatting with the founder of the World Pastry Cup, Gabriel Paillasson, and so it really made some strong emotions well up in all of the teams to have him here on the set. It was so fantastic to see him here with us, and of course we have the new president, Pierre Hermé. So now,
who wanted to say thank you actually also to the founders, so he said, I need to do it right now.
really beautiful handoff.
Oh yeah.
So now for the afternoon session, we are about 15 minutes away from bringing in the restaurant jury. And so this year, if you're just tuning in, some people that are at home may not have heard that there is a new section this year for the restaurant desserts. So we're going to be bringing in some very esteemed chefs from around the world that will be judging on that panel instead of the presidents of each of the teams that are normally judging for the previous desserts.
And this is totally new, so we are also excited. I think yesterday was already fantastic on day one. And this is day two, as you, I'm pretty sure you know already. And we will have the winner later in the afternoon. So this is really the third round of day two already. And then we will have the chocolate sculptures and the gong, the final gong. And very, very soon we will know who will win that amazing trophy that we might be able to show you again. It's quite heavy, but we are both very strong, so we will show it to you again. So, before, I think it's great to check out the timing. We still have 22 minutes before the first restaurant dessert. And before that, we will obviously introduce the jury to you. And as Angela mentioned, it is really a very spectacular jury. So no single person in the jury where I wouldn't say, yes, I want to go to his restaurant and enjoy the degustation, because all of them are working for great, great restaurants around the world.
So today we're going to be seeing the restaurant dessert out of kitchen number 1. And Andres, how long is that? 22 minutes, did you just say?
It's still 21 minutes left.
21 minutes. So we have a giant clock that's on the wall behind us, which also is new this year, so we don't have to guess how many minutes each team has. So we know that they still have a few minutes, so it's going to take another 10 minutes before we bring out the members of the jury. The first country that's going to be coming out of kitchen number 1 is for Team Chile. Do we have some supporters in the audience for Team Chile? Let me hear you make a little bit of noise.
Chile,
we need to wake
please
the
make
audience
some
back
noise.
up.
Okay, it was a bit sleepy, I think. Can you wake up, please? Chile? Still Team Chile. Yes, 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 yes. It sounds much better now. It looks also much better, and they could travel here because obviously there are many countries who we dearly miss from here, who really worked a lot, who trained a lot, who practiced a lot to be here, but it was just not possible to travel. So we just can say hello to them, and we expect them for the next Pastry World Cup. We hope they will be here. We hope they can use whatever they learned at their practices in their daily life. So I think in 2 years we will be complete again, but this is also an amazing competition this year.
So what's interesting also is you're talking about 2 years from now. So we're having this competition here in September in Lyon, but we will be back on track for the next Pastry World Cup in 2023, which will be in January. So we'll be back to our normal kind of timing.
It's actually about 16 months, so it's less than 1.5 years. You are right. And then after Chile, we will have Algeria, and then Mexico, Switzerland, and Italy. And I would love to ask all the supporters of all the nations, all the teams, to start to make some noise now, please. So Italy and Mexico and Chile and Algeria and Switzerland, whoever is in the house, please make some noise. The candidates need your support.
That sound is such magic for the teams. It really is giving them an extra energy boost that they need in an afternoon like this. They've been working since 6:30 this morning. They need all of the energy that they can get from you guys in the audience. You guys are all so important. So if you're watching at home, send all of your positive vibes, messages, get on Facebook and make sure the teams know that you're there watching and supporting them.
And I think we could run around a little bit around the labs, because now it's very interesting to see, because not just the restaurant dessert, we might be able to recognize a bit how it might look very, very soon, but also you can see more of the chocolate sculptures, the amazing sugar pieces, and also the hair dryers that are very often used. And what kind of hair dryer do you use? Would you take any of these, or do you have a very special one, Angela?
I have a very special one.
I was completely sure
we don't need to talk about it now. I have a very, very special one.
As you might expect it, I have a very simple one. It's a towel. So, actually, we can already take a look at the dessert of Chile, because it already looks fabulous. But they still have 18 minutes. Don't you think it's a bit too early to be in that stage of preparation? Or maybe it will be even more complicated?
I'm going to go ahead and keep my comment about that to myself at this point of time. Don't want to get under anyone's skin because it is quite a big moment for all of the teams for sure. And so now as you're looking into the kitchens, what you're starting to see is not only are they preparing for their restaurant desserts, but they're also getting ready to get their sugar and showpieces out. This is a fantastic time in the afternoon where we actually start to see a little bit of height. In the morning, we're seeing people doing sugar and chocolate work, but only the small little fiddly things. Now we're getting the more impressive parts as we're getting the height because they can go up to 160 centimeters high.
Oh yeah, and we will also see the molds that look like pretty interesting. I had no chance to guess what it will be, but it looks like an animal, maybe, because there is also a hat. What do you think? But yeah, but over there we see already a flying bird sitting on a tree, so yes, it will be spectacular for sure.
It sounds like it's in theme with the nature.
We should walk around a bit because we still have time before we'll let the jury enter. Like this is, okay, is this a whale? Is this a were shark? Is this a dolphin? We don't know. What is it? Algeria, what kind of animal is it?
He said dolphin.
Dolphin, okay,
Yes.
it's a dolphin. So, and otherwise, there is not so much to see, but let's check out lab number 3, Mexico. There is also a nice creature. Now we see less human figures, but we see more animals. Yesterday was the day of the different human bodies. Now it's a snail.
So a bit of escargot here in Mexico. So they're doing a little bit of beautiful sugar work here with the snail body. That's quite gorgeous. So we're looking forward to seeing, they're getting a little bit of height there in the back too with their chocolate showpiece. So remember to stick around. Once the teams do present their restaurant desserts, we will be seeing their sugar and chocolate showpieces come out and have all of those measured as well for their presentations for the buffets.
Now, I was just thinking, like, if I tell my kids, like, okay, I will just bring you a piece of chocolate snail, I think they will sound very disappointed. But then if they see this, then everything would be okay. So let's check out what is going on with Team Switzerland. It looks like a wheel of a train, maybe, or a bigger, or just a basement for a bigger construction. That is at the moment not easy to recognize. No, I think it's not just a wheel. I think it will be a full building around it.
Well, we do know that they do have the maximum height of 160 cm. So since it's quite large, we know that there's going to be a bit of a base that they can put it on. I see almost like a sack of potatoes in the back.
Okay, yeah. all right. Fake potatoes, though, so sugar or chocolate potatoes.
Team Switzerland!
Team Switzerland, yes. Finally, we can hear you. And then, lab number 5, the last one for today, it's Team Italy. And those are beautiful petals, and those are the horns of the Italian supporters. And as we already saw, the bee and the honey theme on the plate. Now we will see also at the final sculptures and the hairdryer again. I just can't stop loving those hairdryers.
I feel like when we're talking about nature and our nature theme, we definitely do have to talk about the bee situation because we need to nurture our planet so desperately. Sustainability is a huge feature for us here at the Pastry World Cup this year. So we do have the international committee that is going to be judging all of the teams on sustainability, what they're doing, how they're dealing with wastage, how they're using their products. And bees are an important aspect of what we're doing to nature during this current climate.
Oh yeah. And what do you think? Maybe we just keep silent for some seconds and then afterwards I think we will invite you, or I will invite the jury into the room.
Do you know how to keep silent? This is a thing.
I will try. I just turn off my microphone and then I don't need to keep silent. That's the only way. That's the only way to do that. But now I will find a solution. So we will be back in a few minutes. So, this is a time for the international amazing jury for this very, very special test that is happening for the first time ever at the Coupe du Monde de la Pâtisserie, and I'm pretty sure it will happen again and again because it's so exciting, it's so special, and it's so close to real life restaurant daily work. So we still have over 11 minutes before the first restaurant dessert. It's time for the jury. So please put your hands together for Brandon Dehan, the pastry chef from France.
Dance with me one more time.
And then Glenn Viel, a chef from France. Yunji Lee, pastry chef from the United States of America. Sébastien Vauxillon, pastry chef from France. Yes! And then Dominique Cran, chef from the United States of America. Atelier Cran, 3 stars Michelin. Needless to say. Jordi Roca from Essaya de Can Roca from the 3 brothers. Well deserved. There he is, Giuseppe Amato, pastry chef from Rome, Italy, La Pergola. And Sankoun de Gembre, chef from Belgium with 2 stars Michelin, Léa du Tom. Sankoun, where are you? Put your hands together for him, please.
And ladies and gentlemen, please keep your applause rolling as we welcome in our very important team members without whom none of this would be possible. Please welcome out the Institute of Paul Bocuse.
Oh yes, without them, the chefs will stay hungry because they will serve all the plates, all the desserts to the jury. Please come in, Institute Paul Bocuse. Yes, they are very, very important here. And they are the future. And we will still wait for another 8 minutes, but we have the wonderful Michel having a great interview partner, Julian Alvarez, in the TV set. Michel, it's your turn.
Well, listen, thank you for the floor. Julien Alvarez has not yet arrived in the studio. And so maybe...
Maybe then we can do some short interviews here with the jury members, like they already have some experience from day one. Sankoun de Gembre, what do you think about the competition? What do you think about this idea of like judging real restaurant desserts? Did you see any desserts that you would love to plate in your own restaurant?
Yes, I think it's not easy to pass from the pastry to the kitchen, and it's 2 different sides of the same topics. And now, at this time in the restaurant, it's not, we privilege a kind of difference of texture, difference of temperatures, and it's really fun. And we expect to have a lot of fun today.
Okay, have fun. If you have fun, then also the candidates have fun. Dominique Cren, please. Could you tell me about your perfect restaurant dessert? What do you consider a perfect restaurant dessert?
a dessert full of emotion, love, and art, and just fun and delicious.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Now back to Michel.
Yes, Andras. So Julien Alvarez, bonjour, welcome. Peut-être vous pouvez vous présenter. Je sais que vous êtes membre du IOC. Vous avez gagné en 2011. Maybe introduce yourself. You are a member of the International Committee and you are a former winner, 2011. So this new jury here, maybe a few words of what you're doing now first. Quelques mots ce que vous faites maintenant.
Très brièvement, je viens d'intégrer la maison La Durée à Paris depuis 3-4 mois. Donc comme vous l'avez dit, nous avons été lauréats avec l'équipe d'Espagne en 2011. Et voilà, et puis très heureux d'avoir intégré ce comité pour cette édition.
So he's with Naturi now that he's working with. He won with Spain in 2011. Cette nouvelle composition d'un jury de personnes qui travaillent dans les restaurants plutôt que d'autres pâtissiers, parce que même les pâtissiers qui sont ici sont des pâtissiers de restaurants. So this new jury, this new concept of having both pastry makers and savory chefs as judges, what is your reaction to that? Qu'est-ce que vous y pensez?
Pour moi, c'est très positif. J'ai fait partie de la réflexion commune, d'autant plus qu'à l'époque, quand on a essayé de faire bouger un peu les choses dans le règlement, j'étais au sein du Bristol à Paris, donc j'officiais dans un restaurant triplement étoilé. On élaborait les cartes avec le chef de cuisine et c'était un enrichissement commun. Donc, pour moi, c'est une évolution positive.
So he says it's a very positive development because he was a member of the committee that decided to do that. He's also a former member of the Bristol in Paris, which is a palace hotel with a 3-star restaurant. And so he says that one of the things that's really important is that there's more connection between the people making the savory and the sweet. Donc cette chaîne entre les plats et le dessert, qu'est-ce que ça change en termes de la conception du dessert? What does that change when it's part of a meal being served in a restaurant, a very high-level dining restaurant?
La jeunesse de la réflexion, c'était de se dire que, de par les contraintes de service au concours, on se retrouvait très souvent avec un petit gâteau dans l'assiette et une quenelle de glace à côté, et ce qui ressemblait énormément à un dessert de banquet. Mais voilà, le champ des possibles était réduit. On a essayé d'offrir des possibilités aux candidats en ayant un temps imparti pour avoir une touche finale à l'assiette, comme pourrait le faire un membre du service. En l'occurrence, là, c'est le pâtissier lui-même qui doit s'en charger. Mais plus qu'une contrainte, parce qu'en fait, c'est vraiment une possibilité, c'est vraiment un champ d'expression qui est plus large. Et pour moi, c'est une chance, en fait, de pouvoir finir son dessert devant le client.
So one of the things that they thought was an interesting reason to have this restaurant dessert is because there is the constraint to begin with of the actual pressure of getting it directly on time to the plate. But that constraint actually, it also means that the expectation is not to just have a pastry that they may get from their corner pastry or that they may get at home, but to have something really special because they are in a special environment. So that constraint, in fact, became an opportunity to open up the possibilities, the creative possibilities, and the fact that they're then being judged by people who do the same thing every day. They know the pressures they're under, so we have something that's very real. Alors c'est un mot qui revient souvent ces 2 derniers jours, le réel. Reality is a word that we've heard often. Je pense que c'est une des caractéristiques de cette édition, c'est qu'on veut se rapprocher autant du réel. We want to get as close to real life as possible. It's true in how the pastries come out in a restaurant. It's also true in terms of the impact of food on nature and our societies, etc. Est-ce que ce réel va nous faire perdre un peu de fantaisie?
Je ne pense pas. Enfin, c'est pas ma réflexion.
I'm asking if this reality will take away some of the fantasy, some of the imagination.
Non, je pense pas. En fait, ce qu'on a voulu à travers cela, c'est faire évoluer le concours de manière douce. Mais c'est comme je l'ai dit, c'est de pouvoir avoir, en termes de dégustation, avoir un dessert qui est dans les textures puisse être plus éphémère, plus cuisiné, qu'on puisse avoir plus de chaud, plus de froid. On peut déposer un granité au dernier moment, on peut verser une sauce chaude au dernier moment, on peut déposer une poêlée de fruits ou un fruit qui est flambé au moment. En fait, il y a tellement de possibilités, de petits gestes au dernier moment qui peuvent apporter réellement une plus-value au dessert. Donc c'était vraiment là, l'intention était vraiment là. Après, la réalité, on est au quotidien, on essaie effectivement de suivre l'évolution. Après, c'était pas...
So as part of a general thought process on getting the contest to evolve, to be in tune with its times, so the sustainability issue, for example, but also they wanted to have a dessert because it was in real time that would allow them that final touch, that final touch, and on nous dit qu'il faut aller bientôt sur le plateau, and so it's the last moment, he says, that's the most important, and the countdown, like we're having right now, to bring you a little plus. So let's go back on stage. Merci Julien, on va commenter. Et thank you very much, and back to the stage where they have just over 30 seconds for Chile.
35 seconds for Team Chile, and the pressure is growing and the attention is all here on lab number 1. Oh,
so
yes,
the team has taken off their toques.
They even have a special hat for this restaurant dessert. Let's check out what is going on here.
So Team Chile has taken off their toque and has put on a top hat.
4, 3, 2, 1, and now!
Okay, so for those of you that can't see close up, maybe we can get a shot of some of the chefs from the jury that are tasting the little pot that was handed out. It's a bit of frozen dessert that will also be able to produce a bit of steam. You can see it coming out of Jordi Roca right now. Some of the chefs are tasting through. So you're making the jury members dragons of a sort. So what we're looking at here for Team Chile's restaurant dessert, the name is The Cheese. For this occasion, they were inspired by citrus, which contrasts perfectly with the main preparation of mousse à fromage. Cheese plays a fundamental role since it is the smoothness of this associated with the different crunchy and salty nuances, which gives an interesting flavor on the palate when mixed with citrus fruit. So they have in their cheese dessert, they have a passion fruit soup. The main body component is a cheese mousse, and then they have a pulverized white chocolate together with a chocolate Caribe crunchy base. There's also some type of confiture of Gruyere and a biscuit of almonds. I believe above they have a bit of a twill, which is a sablé, and then they also have an almond sablé.
And Team Algeria has now still 2 minutes for the restaurant dessert.
Okay, and just double checking if Michel had anybody in his studio that was also going to be tasting. You do have someone with you?
I have a lovely lady called Sophie de Bernardi, who's a member of the International Committee. Donc j'ai Sophie de Bernardi, j'ai l'honneur de l'accueillir. Elle va commencer par couper, comme le font les gens du jury. She's going to start by cutting this wonderful visual presentation. Et peut-être laissez-vous commenter pendant que vous coupez à la fois la coupe et la présentation visuelle, parce que c'est un élément essentiel, bien sûr, dans un restaurant, dans un dessert de restaurant.
Tout à fait. Alors en termes de coupe, on a un biscuit assez moelleux, je dirais, avec un praliné et une mousse assez légère et un petit biscuit au-dessus qui se découpe très facilement, voilà.
Okay, alors she says it's a great cut, it looks beautiful. We're going back on for the rest of the presentation and we'll be right back.
Okay, 16 seconds for Team Algeria, and it's once again a very mysterious dessert, so we will need the help of Michel to somehow analyze it, because we don't know much about it. We just know that it needs to be presented right now. Team Algeria, with Salah Eddin Amour, Abdelrazak Abdoun and Mahdi Mehenni. And the name of the dessert is La Pomme de Pinocchio, which is probably easy to translate as the apple of Pinocchio, but what it means we don't know yet.
Yeah, it's true. We're flying a little bit blind for this dessert. So, Michel, if you have anyone in the studio with you that has any insight into this, it would be great.
I do. I have Sophie de Bernardi, who's a member of the committee. She has just cut the cake. She's given me a piece. So I'm going to talk a little bit while she's tasting it. And she's mixing the various ingredients. I don't know if you can see that, in the same way that the chefs on stage are. She seems to have nodded to think that she looks like she's enjoying it. She's got her mouth full. The suspense is amazing. Alors, Sophie, qu'est-ce que vous en pensez? What do you think, Sophie?
Alors je trouve que c'est un dessert quand même assez gourmand. C'est vrai que dans la présentation, c'est quelque chose d'assez délicat, d'assez fin, mais au final, sur le goût, je trouve qu'il y a de la fraîcheur, notamment apportée avec le sorbet à la goyave. Voilà, donc c'est quelque chose d'assez frais. Les mix sont assez intéressants, la texture du biscuit oscillé. On a du craquant, on a du croustillant, on a de la mousse, on a du glacé, on a un petit peu de tout. Donc ça rend vraiment ce dessert très sympathique, quoi, à mon goût.
So she calls it gourmand, which is a great compliment in French, because she said it's a very delicate looking and tasting dessert with all sorts of textures, fruitiness, not very sweet, and yet extremely satisfying to the taste because there's a whole adventure. Vous le trouvez comment en termes de longueur de bouche? On a parlé beaucoup de ça ce matin.
Je trouve que en termes de
so in terms of how long the taste lasts.
de complexité, pardon, excusez-moi.
Non, mais je vous
on
en prie.
a du sucré et puis également un petit peu du fruité. Donc tout ça se mixe très bien.
Okay,
voilà.
So great complexity, great. There's a great mix between the sweet and the tanginess and the fruitiness. Et le côté fromage and the cheese, parce qu'on est en France après tout.
Oui, je pense que c'est judicieux de le mettre, hein, parce qu'on est quand même des amateurs de fromage. Après,
c'est pas fromage ou dessert, c'est fromage
et dessert. On est d'accord. Non, le côté fromage, justement, il donne un petit peu de neutralité au dessert.
Vous allez voir, ça va aller très vite. Voilà. So the cheese is great because it gives it a certain neutrality. And the next dessert we have, help me out here on stage. The next dessert is from
Algeria, the apple
Algeria,
of Pinocchio. It is the mysterious one.
Okay, the apple of Pinocchio.
In 2 minutes and 20 seconds, we will also see the dessert of Mexico. But keep going on, Michel.
Yes,
Pardon,
so
sorry.
everybody.
Have any remarks, Michel, about the Algerian dessert? Let's go.
The Algerian dessert is now on screen. We're seeing it on camera.
No, that's Mexico.
That's Mexico. Okay, sorry.
Correct. So Algeria, we were flying a little bit blind out here because we don't have any notes at all. So I don't know if you received a plate from them or not.
We did. We have the Algerian one actually, and Sophie is cutting into it. It's a very nice shape with a meringue and an explosion of taste. She's cutting into it right now.
And it's already exploding.
It's got meringue, it's got nuttiness, cream, ice cream. It's got some pineapple in it, and I'm going to let her taste so she can tell us her first reaction to the Algerian dessert called the apple of Pinocchio. La pomme de Pinocchio. And it has apple in it.
1 minute for Mexico.
Alors, vous avez 1 minute pour
Come
nous dire
on,
ce que vous pensez de
Mexico.
l'Algérie.
Pas mal de textures aussi. On a de la meringue, du biscuit.
A lot of texture. There's meringue. There's fruit.
La pomme est un peu acidulée.
A little bit of sourness. So once again, a great balance. Different textures. Hot, and it's got ice cream to give it a little cold, and etc. And you've got less than 30 seconds for Mexico, so I'll hand it back to you for Mexico.
Yes, Mexico is, I think, almost ready to go. 20 seconds still left, but they look like they know what they are doing. This is the perfect timing, and also the students from Institut Paul Bocuse are there, so everybody is ready to serve these amazing restaurant desserts to the really, really fantastic international jury. This is the moment. Alan Tercero, Omar Robles, Gustavo Barbabosa is the team. Team Mexico. And the name of it is chocolate and pecan banana color strokes.
So what we're looking at on the plate for Team Mexico is a caramel exotico, some pastilla with fio and a cremo of tonori, bistro of banana and pecan,
And the banana tonka ice cream. And the marmalade of passion fruit. And a chocolate streusel.
Ah, this is interesting. Okay, so now that I'm having a closer look at the judges' table and I can see how they're cutting in. So this...
It's like a spring roll.
Yes, so this phyllo that they have rolled with an interior of some kind of cream mousse is truly like a spring roll. Is it fried or it just happens to be more like phyllo pastry that was done through a sheeter and with lots of butter?
And it has also some hot ingredients, so it's a very nice combination of different temperatures as well. And in the meantime, less than 3.5 minutes for Switzerland. And then the last team with the last restaurant dessert will be Italy very, very soon in a bit more than 9 minutes.
So it's great. The teams still have a little bit of time on the clocks, and if they've been doing their restaurant desserts correctly, it should mean that they can do them in very, very close timing because they want to make sure that the restaurant desserts are operated like a restaurant. When the dessert needs to go out, it needs to go out fast. And this will be part of the point and scoring system that the judges will be using for these restaurant desserts.
Donc là, un peu original, je dirais, avec une pâte phyllo. On n'en trouve pas souvent.
Sophie is commenting, she's cutting into it. She says it's visually intriguing. Let me tell you a word or two about Sophie while she prepares the taste. She's the head of, she's the pastry chef at the Intercontinental Café de la Paix, which is near the Opera in Paris. And she has always worked in hotels and restaurants, so she's very, very qualified to judge what we are about to taste and what she is about to taste. But now she's given me a little secret, which she said I can share with everyone, is that she's actually thinking of opening up her own pastry shop. So she's now tasting, and so I think she will give us the best of both worlds, both in terms of a restaurant experience and as a budding entrepreneur. Yeah,
J'en oublie le micro.
She forgot the mic.
Ça croustille pas mal, voilà.
It's got a nice crunchiness.
Voilà, c'est assez sympa. Ensuite, je trouve que le biscuit qu'on a dans le fond, j'avais l'impression que ça c'était un peu comme un brownie. Mais c'est assez sympa en chocolat.
Great chocolate taste, what looked like a bit of brownie on the bottom.
Bon, je l'ai un petit peu mal coupé parce que du coup, on n'a pas forcément tous les goûts dans ce dessert. C'est vrai que c'est un dessert vraiment plus longiligne. Donc,
So she's saying that in fact she should have never given me half of it because she cut it in such a way that she can't taste the different ingredients. But she's right. There's a lot of different ingredients that are supposed to mix in together, like the ice cream. The little cigar, what they call a cigar in French.
50
gives it another country. And I think that, comme ça, rapidement, en résumé.
En résumé, moi je trouve que c'est un dessert assez sympa, avec encore des textures vraiment légères quand même,
nice,
malgré le fait que ça soit du chocolat.
And a lot of a good chocolate base. So now, as usual, 30 seconds, and you've got Switzerland coming up, and we all know, as the French say, we have the time and they have the clock. Back to you in Switzerland.
Thank you, Michel. 15 seconds to go, and the Swiss supporters are finally waking up a little bit, and they are trying to make some noise. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ready to go. Make some noise, Switzerland. Yes. The leaf of the apple tree. Oh, and there is an addition to this, a non-edible, I think it's the description. So the main ingredients are apple and pear and a little bit of lemon balm.
So difference for this kind of restaurant dessert from what we've seen in previous years is the chefs are allowed to do tableside service. So you can see the chef coming in, doing a bit of tableside service last minute on to the guests, but they're actually judges in this case, onto their plates. And of course, the team is also handing out some information. Did you get a close look at what that information said?
There was just a greeting letter, but I couldn't read it completely. So it even contains, like, yeah, it's like in a real restaurant. It even contains some of the ingredients, like the apple and the pear. And a personalized greeting, and I see some happy faces with the jury.
It's very beautiful. Now, it's really these touches of nature that they've really brought with them, and these nice moments that you're providing the jury or the restaurant guests in either case with something that's a little bit special, that's aesthetically pleasing and makes them feel special, like they've just gone the extra mile and that extra touch by this, having this really natural looking wood and the other leaves and herbs that are on the table as well.
They've gone the extra mile, Angela, you're quite right, because we've just got it coming on visually here, but they also respected the seasons. And they went close to home. They went to get the apples and the pears in fields that were close to home. So they've gone the extra mile, but they haven't gone a long distance to get them. And of course, because they're Swiss, which means that they have several cultures together, they have both local fruits and they have Italian panna cotta. So they've tried to be both local and wider in their range. And Sophie is tasting it now and she's nodding.
C'est vraiment un dessert pour moi qui se fait en 3 temps. Enfin, au départ, de loin, visuellement, j'avais l'impression que c'était un peu comme le yin et le yang. Voilà. Mais au final, je vois vraiment 3 parties distinctes qui sont vraiment donc le sorbet avec une arlette, où je les ai vus faire d'ailleurs le feuilletage eux-mêmes là tout de suite. Une arlette, voilà. Donc c'est quelque chose de très croustillant qui donne vraiment un petit peu un côté sucré. Et caramélisé aussi à la fois au dessert. Donc c'est vrai que ça se marie très très bien avec les desserts poires, pommes.
So you see, I was talking about them being local and multicultural. Sophie says it's a kind of yin and yang dessert because they have 3 very different textures, including something called an arlette, which I'd never heard about, which is a kind of crispy and very delicate top, visually beautiful, and very good combinations of fruit, chocolate, cold, creamy, and she seems to be enjoying it a lot.
Et léger aussi. Oh, j'adore la tarte tatin, donc je suis pas difficile à convaincre.
And she says that it's very light, and because of the apple, she's a big fan of the famous tarte tatin, so it's really the kind of thing that she appreciates. The only thing is that she has not yet given me my share. She's keeping it to herself. No, she is now cutting a piece for me as well. Anyways,
Actually,
a very nice balance.
Chefs finishing it now. It's the
local
last minute
and
for
global.
Italy.
Et maintenant, so I hand it over to you again for Italy.
Okay, they still have like 50 seconds, but now they are starting to make some noise, waving all those Italian flags. So this is the last restaurant dessert of day 2 of the Coupe du Monde de la Pâtisserie. Afterwards, we will just have to enjoy the buffets, the chocolate sculptures. And the name will be the suspended honeycomb. That will be the Italian dessert in less than 15 seconds.
I know that it's been a challenge for the teams to travel here this year. Now we have the supporters from Italy. You've come all the way here for this moment. Go ahead. Walk the teams in for the next 3 seconds. Go, Italy!
Team Italy with the restaurant dessert. And the finishing touch, the suspended honeycomb arrives.
I find this super fascinating what's happening on the floor now. There's so many chefs on the floor standing and watching this last final restaurant dessert go out. This is intense pressure. Everybody wants to see what's coming on the plates. And so you can see here what the teams are doing is they are putting a bit of a fine finishing touch on the plates
And
by
there
using
is one
a
more
flour.
finishing touch. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it will include also some words from Alessandro Dalmasso. So now please be a little bit quiet so we can understand what he's saying.
Ragazzi, ok, grazie, merci beaucoup. Bonjour à tous, et je vous prie d'excuser mon français et je vous expliquer le travail. Le dessert dans l'assiette est conçu pour symboliser un merveilleux moment de la nature, la pollinisation. La fleur est sur la base avec l'abeille à l'intérieur. La ruche suspendue comme dans les airs. La rose symbolise de l'amour et le trait d'union entre les abeilles et la pollinisation. Ensuite, le capitaine pose les roses dans l'assiette et les pollens tombent sur le dessert, créant un lieu poétique et symbolique. Bonne dégustation.
Grazie Alessandro.
So that was fascinating to watch the way the team, the committee, and everybody was watching as the teams were being plated here in front of our judges, because this plated dessert was inspired by and with the desire to amaze the jury using unprecedented techniques. More precisely, they have this particular three-dimensional honeycomb water. So the dessert was created to turn the tasting into a fairy tale moment. And this is the last dessert tasting of the day. So I'm so happy to be ending this magical moment in this fairy tale. So they wanted to bring the jury back to their childhood, and it's with this sweet flavor of honey and also projecting them into the future with an innovative preparation of the techniques. Michelle, do you have any information on how the tasting is going there in your box?
Well, listen, Sophie is just digging in. And first of all, I must say, visually extremely beautiful. And she's now just tasting it. Hein, visuellement, c'était quelque chose d'extraordinaire. Qu'est-ce que vous en pensez en termes de goût? What do you think of the taste?
C'est très léger. On sent vraiment, comment dire, le goût de la passion. On a aussi la sucrosité du miel qui vient quand même en fin de bouche. Et j'apprécie vraiment, enfin visuellement en tous les cas, on a également un petit peu de pollen là sur le côté. Je pense qu'on peut également goûter le dessert avec. J'aime bien le pollen, c'est un côté un petit peu âpre en bouche. Et j'ai tendance aussi à le mettre dans mes desserts.
So she says there's a great balance here between the passion fruit, the honey and some pollen. And the pollen gives it a kind of almost grittiness and a real natural flavor. C'est vraiment un beau jeu de nature.
C'est ça.
She was saying for some of the desserts she enjoyed most that they were both modern and classic.
Oui.
They were both natural and sophisticated. That's something we haven't talked about so much, and that's something I think you've really put your finger on it. Gardez le classique, keep the classic, be modern, keep nature, but make some new taste sensations.
Pas trop changer les pâtisseries, garder vraiment ce qui fait la pâtisserie française, le classicisme, les bonnes tartes tatin, les bons babas, etc. Mais tout en les innovant un petit peu, quoi.
Keep the passion of French pastry, things like tarte tatin, which are eternal in our taste buds, but make them in a new way that renews them and really makes them even more sublime and takes us elsewhere. Don't forget the past, think about the future, and that's the best way of making the present.
Mais exactement.
Huh?
J'aurais pas dit mieux.
Okay,
I have to confess, I have tasted it and I was transported back into my childhood, and now I'm back to the future, so it really worked out. I think it was an amazing dessert, but all of the restaurant desserts were amazing, and I think we just need to say thank you to our amazing international dessert jury, because you did a great job. Merci, grazie. And now you may leave the hall if you like, and I will name the names again because this is a list I think that we need to listen to. It's like music. It's like fine dining music. Brandon Dehan, and then Glenn Viel, Yunji Lee, Sebastian Voxion, Dominique Cren, Jordi Roca, Giuseppe Amato, and Sankhun de Gembre. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup.
Let's have a huge round of applause, please. Thank you so much to our international members of the restaurant jury. So now I do see some of the crowd members that are getting up, but please don't forget we are going to be presenting the buffet. So you're going to be seeing the chocolate and sugar sculptures with the entire buffet set up in just a short while. Boy, I don't even know what time it is.
The final gong is approaching.
Just that time will be approaching in a bit. And of course, we will have the awards presentation after that as well. So do stick around. If you do have a seat here in the arena, I think you're going to want to stick to it. And for those of you that are watching at home, of course, you're going to want to stay glued to your TV sets because those sugar and chocolate showpieces are really magical indeed to see.
Anne-Marie Payot.
Anne-Claire Payot. Anne-Claire.
Give us some more information from the TV set. We are eager to listen to you.
So thank you very much, Andras. We have Anne-Claire, I made a mistake, not Anne-Marie, Anne-Claire Payot. She's the marketing director of De Bic. And I will first ask her what De Bic is specializing in.
Bonjour, je vais le faire en français si ça vous va.
Ah ben ça me va très bien, oui.
D'accord. Bonjour, je m'appelle Anne-Claire, donc je suis la directrice marketing de chez Friesland Campina, France. Donc Friesland Campina est une coopérative laitière. Donc on produit et on transforme donc, les produits laitiers, aussi bien du beurre, de la crème ou de la glace. Et donc parmi nos différentes marques, on a la marque De Bic. Donc De Bic est la marque qui est exclusive pour les professionnels. Et donc en tant que... On est fiers depuis 20 ans d'être partenaire de la Coupe du Monde de la pâtisserie. Et cette année encore, on est fiers et heureux d'être présents ici à la Coupe du Monde de la pâtisserie.
So, their main product is De Bic, which are dairy products reserved for professionals. And that's one of their product lines in a company called Friesland Campina. So it has a little bit of the Dutch and a little bit of the Italian in its sound. And it's a company that produces dairy products and so is therefore involved in the entire chain from the milk they collect to the final product that they produce. So that could be cream, that can be butter, different things like that. And they have been partners of the World Pastry Championships for more than 20 years. And if I remember correctly, your company is over 100 years old as well.
Oui, exactement. L'année passée, on a fêté nos 100 ans. Donc la marque De Bic a fêté ses 100 ans.
L'année dernière?
Oui, okay. L'année dernière.
Last year, they actually celebrated 100 years.
Et donc malheureusement, c'était l'année du Covid, donc on n'a pas pu forcément la fêter. Donc on est très heureux d'être là cette année et être présent à la Coupe du Monde de la pâtisserie.
So it was a special year, so we're especially happy to be able to celebrate together, since last year it was a little bit more of a closed affair. Et cette longévité veut dire aussi que c'est bien sûr des produits, mais c'est aussi des relations, je pense. On a des relations qu'on doit bâtir sur une période si longue. That longevity isn't just in terms of products, but it's also in terms of relationships. Is that really the key to your success?
Oui, exactement. On existe depuis près de 100 ans. On est une marque qui est pour les professionnels. On est très proche des professionnels puisqu'on est une marque qui est dédiée que pour les professionnels. Et donc, comme j'ai pu vous le dire, on est une coopérative qui appartient à près de 18 000 fermiers. Et c'est très important puisque...
18 000
18 000, oui.
Ah oui.
Et donc, on maîtrise toute la chaîne de valeur, depuis la production de lait jusqu'au produit fini. Donc voilà, ce qui nous permet d'offrir des produits de très haute qualité pour les professionnels.
So this relationship is based on the fact that they have specific product lines, for example, for professionals, but beyond that, they are a cooperative which has 18,000 members, which means that they all work together. It's not a triangular structure, exactly. It's a horizontal structure. So the fact that they have dedicated farmers and that they have dedicated products for professionals of the highest quality. And so this puts you in the middle, which means that all of these questions of sustainability and responsibility are at the heart of what you do. What does that mean for you? How do you do it on an everyday basis? Not just what you say, but what you do.
Alors, comme vous le dites, c'est extrêmement important pour nous, la durabilité. Donc, régulièrement, nos 18 000 fermiers sont formés sur ces sujets. Donc, vous me demandez des exemples concrets. Donc, au niveau des exploitations, on les encourage donc, à diminuer leur empreinte carbone. Donc, comment? Notamment en installant des panneaux solaires ou bien des éoliennes. Autre point très important pour nos fermiers, c'est le bien-être animal et également la santé des animaux en général. C'est pour ça qu'en fonction des saisons, dès que le temps le permet, les vaches sont amenées à pâturer à l'extérieur. Donc voilà, c'est un point qui est extrêmement important. Et également l'alimentation.
Pardon?
L'alimentation.
L'alimentation. So indeed, it's not something they talk about, it's something they've been doing for a long time. It's true that we've talked a lot about fruits, we've talked a lot about plants. This is the dairy side of things. That means animals. So what does that mean? First of all, they make sure their animals are really well fed. They make sure their animals go outdoors as soon as weather permits, so they get natural ingredients and things that come fresh. But they also take care of their well-being. It's something we talk about very little, because sustainable development isn't just about our ecology, it's also about our relationship to animals that we raise, so the well-being. They also are in direct contact with the producers for them to reduce their carbon imprint. And one of the things they do is, because these people have land and buildings, is that they encourage them to use solar panels, to use wind power, and to use all of the natural renewable energy that's available. So it's really part of the business. That's what's really interesting. It's not something that you have to do. It's something that makes your business better and makes the life of the people you work with and the animals you work with better. So it's not just good business, it's good for everyone.
Exactly. You
Okay.
make a good summarize.
Well, I think so, and I think that that's one of the things that's very important, is that up until now, this whole notion of responsibility or sustainability meant you needed to sacrifice something. Now, all of a sudden, we realize with people like you, who are really doing it, that it is an added value. It's something that actually makes better products, better business, better relationships. So it's natural to you, I think. That's an advantage you have.
Oui, exactement. On sait qu'on offre des produits très appréciés par les boulangers pâtissiers, qui sont la crème et le beurre. En même temps, on sait que ce sont des produits extrêmement fragiles, extrêmement techniques. Donc c'est très important pour nous de bien maîtriser toute cette chaîne de valeur, comme je vous ai dit, pour pouvoir toujours offrir des produits de très bonne qualité pour les professionnels, parce qu'on est là justement pour les aider au quotidien.
So they offer very sophisticated processed products to the professionals. So this entire value chain is something that they've always been very careful about, but today becomes even more significant, because what their customers are looking for is quality and consistency, and what their producers are looking for is moving forward, staying with their times, and continuing to develop. C'était un vrai plaisir de vous recevoir. Thank you very much for coming on set to talk to us about the animal side of things, because I think we've been in the plant world, the chocolate world, and things like that. But we have to remember that butter and milk and all these products are an essential product element for our pâtissiers chefs. Thank you very much.
Merci.
Anne-Claire, I made a mistake with your name.
C'est pas grave, merci.
Thank you, Anne-Claire.
Et au nom de toute l'équipe de BIC, aussi bien France qu'internationale, je souhaite bonne chance à tous les participants.
And in the name of the BIC, she says, good luck to all the participants. May the best team win. Thank you, Anne-Claire.
Merci.
Thank you.
Your hands. They produce the most beautiful and delicious creations. Day in and day out, we work hard to give you a helping hand. We provide tips, techniques, and quality products, which is why Debic is in good hands with you, and you are in good hands with Debic. Debic, made for professional hands.
Thank you very much, Michel. It was amazing, and I think we also had a fantastic day, but it's not over yet.
Indeed, it's not. So as we mentioned before, the exciting part is just about to happen. So we're going to go ahead and let the team start massively assembling their sugar and chocolate showpieces so that they can get prepared for their buffets. So the gong is going to happen, this famous gong, which will be the end of the day where they have to put all of their equipment down. At 4:30, so that is the end where they have to have their buffets presented, everything, then they're going to go back into the kitchens and clean up. So we're going to give you a few minutes, and we will be back very shortly for that entire presentation.
See you soon.
Together, for almost a century, Together with cocoa producers, artisans, and all chocolate lovers, we have been moving the needle for a fair and sustainable industry and for creative and responsible gastronomy. Beyond words, we believe in actions. 100% of Valrona's cocoa can be traced back to the producers. We are building long-term relationships with these 18,208 partner producers in 16 countries. As a certified B Corp, we are committed to improving every day. We accompany artisans of good taste in creating works of art with the most beautiful material and to be actors in the sustainable and committed gastronomy of tomorrow. Together, good becomes better. Together for almost a century, together with cocoa producers, artisans, and all chocolate lovers, we have been moving the needle for a fair and sustainable industry and for creative and responsible gastronomy. Beyond words, we believe in actions. 100% of Valrona's cocoa can be traced back to the producers. We are building long-term relationships with these 18,208 partner producers in 16 countries. As a certified B Corp, we are committed to improving every day. We accompany artisans of good taste in creating works of art with the most beautiful material and to be actors in the sustainable and committed gastronomy of tomorrow. Together, good becomes better.
Coupe du Monde de la Pâtisserie, the Pastry World Cup, final day, final decisions, final round. It's almost over, but we still have something spectacular for you.
I am so excited. So it is around 4:15 at this point of time, and we are narrowing down. The teams have until 4:30 to get all of their buffet presentations out. They have been working in their kitchen since 6:30 this morning here on day two.
I need to think again. 6:30 in the morning. So at the final gong, it will be 10 hours. Can you imagine standing, working, melting, playing around, sculpturing, cooking, baking? It's really, really tough. But this is what it is all about. And I think they might be still able to smile if we ask them, but I don't want to disturb them because really now, if you look at the big screen, we just have like 11 minutes till the final gong.
It is an intense time for the teams as they're putting all of their finishing touches. And so now remember, throughout the day, we have seen a dessert to share, their frozen dessert and their restaurant dessert. They have had a big, heavy, and intense day throughout the entire day. And remember, this is not their first time for them to do this entire duration. They have been training in their kitchens for the past 2 years in order to prepare for this very moment.
Angela, I have to ask you something. Are you a tourist here? What do you do with your camera? I mean, it's a beautiful camera, but what's the reason you have it on your hand?
Well, I was taking photos, and so I do like to capture a few images if I ever have a spare moment, and I didn't have an opportunity to put it down. The teams needed to be represented, and so now I'm here, camera in hand.
I mean, yeah, what else? Like, these are really, really beautiful. Let's
take a look.
I think we should like quickly run so
here we are
can
in
show
front
a little
of
bit.
Laboratory 1 for Team Chile.
Chile, and then we see very, very colorful things, but I think it should be dynamic. So let's go to right now to lab number two, which is Algeria. And this looks, can you differentiate between a tortoise and a turtle?
I believe since it looks like it's from the sea, I'm gonna go that it's, Yes, I'm going to say,
But I think none of them is made of chocolate originally, as far as I remember the lessons from biology. And you really can see that there was a lot of work going on today, and everything that you see here,
so we can stop
the
here
teams had to create from scratch today, from this morning.
We can stop here for a quick moment because you're about to get into their kitchen. Because now, as you see, this is Team Mexico. They're already putting up their chocolate showpiece on their buffet. And of course, you can see the team has been working very hard. A little bit of freezing spray here, but still time to smile. I love that.
Oh yes,
I love it.
yes.
Remember, be in the moment.
There is always
this
time
is why
to smile.
You're here.
This is the motto of the day, or the motto of these 2 days. I think it makes sense. I think it really makes sense because pastry is really the way to make people happy, is to finish a fantastic meal, and you need those smiles also from the guests. So why should you spare yourself? And then lab number 3, it's Mexico. Do we see Mexico? Yes. Do we see something?
We have our one supporter. Well, so Mexico already has their chocolate buffet out here. So now we're waiting for them to be able to put their sugar showpiece out. Still about 10 minutes on the clock.
I mean, it looks already pretty spectacular. Just look over there. And the snail again, the revenge of the giant snails. That could be, no, I don't want to give titles to the creatures here because it might be something totally different. And then Switzerland in lab number 4 of day 2 of the Pastry World Cup. And it looks very much like it's about water and tap water, but I really don't want to guess. But maybe we see over there something.
Correct, yes. So they do seem to have most of their showpiece out at this point in time. Most of the bottom part of the showpiece has been made out of chocolate, and they've centered it around their sugar showpiece. And there's a sack of potatoes on the showpiece. So I would like to know more about that, of the theme with the potatoes.
Oh yeah, now they are adding something. And there are the potatoes. There are the potatoes and a bottle of wine, and we don't want to destroy anything, like walking over something really important. Team Italy and the Italian supporters are making some noise right now. But here with Switzerland, we see carrots, apples, pears, a bottle of nice wine, some wine glasses. So it's like a picnic table and a sack of potatoes. It looks really interesting. And Team Italy with the bees and the honey.
Michelle, I see that you've come down to the kitchen arena here. Please be very careful because Italy's running behind you. Good God. Okay, so like everybody be very, very careful. There's a lot of running. Michelle, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you so much, Angela. I have Patrick Roger, the honorary president. We just wanted to get a few words from him about the feeling over the last 2 days and the inspiration and the emotion. Alors juste nous donner quelques mots pour ce que vous avez ressenti sur les 2 derniers jours. Vous l'avez vécu de l'intérieur, vous l'avez vécu de l'extérieur. D'où vient cette énergie, d'où vient cette inspiration?
L'inspiration, c'est surtout l'émotion que ça procure. Et je pense que c'est essentiel.
The main thing is the emotion you bring to others, and that's what's essential.
Avec l'émotion, on comprend la dimension. Et avec la dimension, c'est de l'inconscient, mais on devient conscient.
So with that emotion, they fire up our energy. It's a back and forth process. Et est-ce qu'on a un bon cru cette année?
Ouais, je pense que ce qui est fantastique, c'est de faire surtout, et c'est vraiment exceptionnel. C'est vraiment encourageant. Tu as juste envie que tout le monde fasse ça aussi. C'est exceptionnel. J'adore.
It's an exceptional year. I love it. It's a great feeling. Et malgré tout, despite everything, la fatigue, la concentration, vous souriez. And despite everything, you're still smiling.
Mais c'est un grand moment de plaisir. C'est ça qui est génial, quoi.
It's a great moment of pleasure. I think that sums it up. It's a great moment of pleasure. And there's a bit of tension, but look at the beauty. Et c'est un grand moment de beauté aussi. It's a great moment of beauty quand on regarde les sculptures.
L'esthétique, voir du monde, voir la foule, c'est exceptionnel d'avoir du monde qui t'encourage. Et on est tous là. Et c'est ce qui permet d'avoir un moment incroyable.
To see the crowd and to see et voir les gens pouvoir se réunir, pouvoir faire la fête de nouveau, see people getting together and being able to celebrate together.
Ouais, c'est une vraie réunion, c'est une communion. C'est exceptionnel.
It's almost a communion. It's a real transcendental experience. Back to you, Angela. I think he's put it in a nutshell. It's pleasure, it's sharing, and it's emotion. Back to you.
100% for sure. This is truly a community. Everybody around the world has been watching over the past 2 days. We build our community bigger and bigger each and every time we have one of these events. And it's beautiful to see all of you watching from the safety of your own homes and being able to join us via live stream anytime we do one of these events. So now we have the buffet setting. Countdown is on the huge screen. We're looking at just over 3 minutes until the teams can present their entire full buffet. You can see that Team Italy has been rocking it. That is Team Italy.
Talking about emotions, yes, talking about emotions. Team Italy seems to be pretty happy about what they have achieved, but they are still running around, cleaning the tables. It looks pretty amazing. I think this is the Italian spirit. This is the spirit of the Coupe du Monde de la Pâtisserie. So this is really about emotions. I think this is the key word for today, pleasure and emotions. And in less than 3 minutes, we will hear that final gong. That means that all the teams need to stop all the activities immediately, drop everything, whatever they have in their hands, and then just show us what they have.
Andres, I loved that last shot that we just saw on the screens. I hope all of you at home saw it as well. We were looking at the camera through somebody else's lens in their phone.
There it is again, yeah.
So when you really see all of the crowds gathering around a buffet presentation like that, they're very interested in what that team is doing. That really shows you an insight on the floor of what people are looking at and why.
And I think this is also the moment for all the supporters here on the grandstand and also at home to support your team, to cheer them up, like to make some noise. Italy, Switzerland, Mexico, Algeria, Chile, and whoever is in the room, this is the time for supporting. This is the time for making some noise, because there is not much time left. 1 minute and 35 seconds exactly.
Oh, this emotion, this feeling, there's nothing better than this moment that everybody traveled here to Lyon for. You can really feel the tension in the air. Some of the teams are still running from their kitchens over to their buffet displays. Hands are shaking. Sweat is pouring from their brow. This is phenomenal. I wish all of you at home could feel how intense this is and how great it feels to be here.
I'm pretty sure you can also feel this kind of enthusiasm and the tense as also at home, because even if you watch it through your cameras, through your laptops, through your computers, you will know what is going on here, and you will know that we are in the final minute already, so that final gong will happen very, very soon.
I don't know if I see any of the other teams still running. It looks like some of the teams have already started cleaning up.
There is not much running going on. That's a good sign, because
Everyone's in good
obviously
shape.
we wish for them all that they can be ready whenever they want. So it's half a minute and then we will have that gong. And also it's also nice to see those amazing jury members for the restaurant dessert, that they are still here. They were here the whole day. They were taking photos and videos. So it's not just they just arrived to do their job. No, they wanted to be inspired to enjoy this atmosphere, and I think this is really special.
Who wouldn't want to be on this floor right now?
4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the buffet presentation. Everybody be very, very careful. Move away from the buffets.
So, as you could see, it's almost over. I mean, it's over. Day 2 is over, but the Pastry World Cup is not over yet. We are missing something really important.
Thank you all so much for joining us online for this live stream around the world for the World Pastry Cup 2021 here in Lyon at Syrah. It has been a magical 2 days where we've had 11 countries that are competing for the bronze, silver, and gold for the World Pastry Cup. We are going to be doing the award ceremony at 5:15. So for those of you that are in the arena, please do go ahead and keep your seats. And for those of you that are watching on the live stream, you will want to go ahead and get some popcorn and cheer on your teams as we start the presentation in just a short while. Thank you all so much for joining us here at this gorgeous World Pastry Cup here in Lyon.
And see you soon.
Together for almost a century, together with cocoa producers, artisans, and all chocolate lovers, we have been moving the needle for a fair and sustainable industry and for creative and responsible gastronomy. Beyond words, we believe in actions. 100% of Valrona's cocoa can be traced back to the producers. We are building long-term relationships with these 18,208 partner producers in 16 countries. As a certified B Corp, we are committed to improving every day. We accompany artisans of good taste in creating works of art with the most beautiful material and to be actors in the sustainable and committed gastronomy of tomorrow. Together, good becomes better.
Someday I'm gonna be with you.
Your hands. They produce the most beautiful and delicious creations. Day in and day out, we work hard to give you a helping hand. We provide tips, techniques, and quality products, which is why Debic is in good hands with you, and you are in good hands with Debic. Debic, made for professional hands.
At Dobla, we aim for the finest indulgence. Cake, pastry, a dessert, coffee, or ice cream should not just taste great, it has to look irresistible too. We therefore work with the world's best pastry chefs and chocolate professionals who understand that people buy with all their senses. Our chocolate decorations help our customers create exciting experiences for their consumers. That's the Dobla touch.
The